Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so if you feel like the ground beneath the tech world is moving faster than ever, you're definitely not wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty dizzying.
Today, we're really wrestling with this idea of superintelligence and, specifically how fast it's gone from just a promising tool to, well, almost foundational infrastructure.
hmm
Our sources are highlighting this acceleration like AI making a generational leap forward in, what, months?
Yeah.
Not years?
That timing is absolutely the core of it.
Mhm.
The analysis we're digging into today, it's driven by EON Reality, and it suggests something quite stark. Like maybe in January, you'd see AI as a powerful tool, something you could deploy.
Right, optional.
But by September of the same year, it's become this ubiquitous infrastructure. It's coding, it's pushing science forward, spitting out solutions at scale, and this sheer sudden abundance of intelligence, it basically forces a choice on all of
A
us.
mandatory choice. Okay, that sounds pretty dramatic. What are the paths here? What are the two options?
Well, it is dramatic, but I think it's accurate. The first path. You could just stand beneath AI.
Beneath it.
Yeah, like you're paralyzed, feeling fatalistic, maybe overwhelmed by the sheer pace of it all. You get that information anxiety because, let's face it, you just can't keep up with everything being generated.
Okay, that sounds bleak. What's path number 2?
Path 2 is the one this movement really champions. It's choosing to stand on the shoulders of AI.
Okay, leveraging it.
Exactly. It's the choice to use that superabundant intelligence to actively tackle problems, turn them into actual outcomes, and hopefully turn those outcomes into prosperity.
Hmm.
That's a huge shift in agency, right? So that's what we're diving into today. EON Reality's Solve Everything movement. Our mission really is to understand how this movement proposes to transform that initial anxiety, that feeling overwhelmed, into something measurable, outcome-driven agency.
Mm-hmm. It's not just talk. You said it has a structure, but
Yeah.
where does that structure even begin? It feels like it has to start with a mindset shift, right?
Precisely. Before you even get to the tech, you have to sort of redefine your relationship with problems themselves. That's a core idea behind the solve everything mindset.
Okay, the solve everything mindset. What are the main pillars? Is this just positive thinking or is there more to it?
It's definitely more rigorous than just optimism. It's meant to be brutally practical, actually. There are these 4 core ideas, tenets, that aim to, well, reorient how you behave.
Right, lay them out.
Treat every single problem, big or small, like it's inherently solvable. Assume it can be done.
Okay,
Always co-solve that problem with AI. You don't fight the acceleration, you partner up with it.
makes sense. Partnering, not fighting. Third, and this one's key, you have to ship measurable outcomes daily. Daily. That's the one that gives me pause. Shipping daily, doesn't that risk just churning out quick fixes? Like sacrificing real depth for speed? Is the solve everything mindset trading, I don't know, foundational knowledge for just rapid production, maybe superficial stuff?
That's a really critical question, and it's why the 4th tenet, compounding, is so vital.
Compounding, yeah. The argument goes like this. In this age where intelligence is abundant, easily accessible through AI, the real edge isn't just having the knowledge anymore.
Okay.
It's demonstrating you can apply it. So if you ship daily, you iterate daily, you learn by doing constantly. You're not just passively absorbing theory, you're building this tangible, measurable track record of application. You move from being, say, a thinker to being a producer.
So the mindset is about using AI's power to speed up that loop between learning and actually doing something, turning, as the sources put it, problem density into prosperity density.
Exactly.
But okay, a mindset's one thing. You still need the tools, the infrastructure, right? To actually get people delivering outcomes every day. How does EON structure that? Which I guess brings us to the EON mechanism.
Indeed. The mechanism is like the essential machinery needed for that mindset to actually work at scale. It's a framework built on 3 interconnected parts. The first one is the outcome-driven platform. Okay, what's that pipeline look like?
All right.
It's designed to be really clear, very sequential. Learn, train, perform. Learn, train, perform.
Right. And crucially, the platform forces you to take abstract learning and turn it into a measurable performance outcome. Think of it almost like a specialized assembly line. You bring a problem in at the start, and the system guides you through the learning needed for it, then the training, maybe using 3D simulations or virtual environments, and then finally the performance phase where you ship the actual solution, the measurable thing.
So if I'm, say, learning anatomy, the output isn't just passing a test. It's maybe building an interactive 3D model of a knee joint or something.
Precisely that. The measurable output becomes the credential. And this whole mechanism, it lives inside the second component, which is the virtual campus.
Virtual campus, okay. That sounds like more than just online classes.
Oh, much more. It's not just a Zoom call. It's envisioned as this persistent 24/7 environment, a fully equipped digital workspace where problem solving is just the default daily habit.
And the AI co-pilots you mentioned, how do they work in this campus? Are they just fancy search engines or like automated tutors?
They're meant to be active co-solvers. So imagine you're stuck on, I don't know, a tricky physics problem.
Okay.
The AI co-pilot wouldn't just give you the answer. It might instantly translate the complex data into, say, a 3D augmented reality visualization you can actually manipulate.
Wow, okay.
It automates the heavy lifting, the number crunching, maybe generating the 3D model, drafting initial code, freeing you, the human, up to focus on the innovation, the application.
That really does sound like a proper intelligent assistant, not just a chatbot.
Ugh.
Okay, so platform, campus, and the third component ties it all together. The skills, jobs, income flywheel.
Yes, the flywheel. That's really the engine driving the agency part. Every measurable outcome you produce on the platform in the virtual campus, it automatically builds your portfolio of actual marketable skills.
Because you proved you could do it.
Exactly. Since the skills are shown through real solutions, not just degrees on paper, they unlock new job opportunities. And those opportunities, they generate income, which in turn can fund more problem solving. It creates this continuous positive feedback loop.
Can you give like a small, concrete example of that flywheel spinning?
Sure. Imagine you're a worker on a factory floor. You spot a recurring safety issue.
Yep.
Using the platform and an AI co-pilot, you build a quick 3D simulation training module. And let's say it demonstrably cuts incidents by like 15%.
Right. Measurable outcome.
That specific output goes straight into your portfolio. Now you have this proven skill, maybe. Safety process innovation via 3D AR simulation. That skill might qualify you for a better paying process optimization role that needs exactly those digital skills. See, problem solved, skill gained, income up, capability compounded.
That totally shifts the focus of value. It really highlights that quote from Dan Lajerskar at EON Reality.
Oh.
Something like, AI made intelligence abundant. The task now is turning abundance into outcomes.
Yeah. If intelligence is cheap or at least readily available,
Output is everything.
it moves the spotlight from just knowing stuff to showing you can do stuff with that knowledge.
Okay, to really get our heads around this shift, maybe we need that before and after comparison. Seeing the old era versus the solve everything era side by side could really make it click.
Yeah, that contrast is pretty stark across 4 main areas. Let's start with learning. Old era learning, mostly passive, right? You consume information maybe for a whole semester, then wait for a big exam.
Yeah, sounds familiar. And now?
Now, learning is meant to be continuous, active. Every single problem you solve, every outcome you ship in that virtual campus, it produces a verified credential. It proves you're competent in that specific thing. Learning basically becomes the same as contributing.
Okay, that would drastically change work, too. Old era work felt rigid. Employees followed static procedures, maybe from a binder on a shelf.
Totally. The new reality is dynamic. Employees are co-solving with AI, ideally daily. They're not just following the instruction manual. They're constantly tweaking it, rewriting it, maybe even replacing parts with an AI-generated solution. Innovation isn't stuck in an R&D department. It's baked into the daily workflow. The third shift, this feels like maybe the biggest one socially, problem solving. It used to feel like that was reserved for the experts, right? The elites with the fancy degrees. This is that democratization point. It's huge. Because the platform provides the intelligence through the AI co-pilots and the structure, the main requirement isn't deep expertise anymore. It's the intent to solve the problem.
So the infrastructure kind of bypasses the old gatekeepers.
Effectively, yeah. It gives agency to anyone willing to jump in and try.
And that acceleration must change progress itself. Innovation used to feel slow, measured in months, sometimes years.
Right. Now, progress is designed to be exponential. Because of that daily outcome goal and the speed you get from co-creating with AI, things like prototypes, actual solutions, measurable results, they can show up in days.
Days, wow.
And that speed is critical, psychologically too. Seeing quick results is maybe the best way to fight off that initial anxiety.
That link between speed and beating anxiety.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. But okay, we need to ground this. Let's move from the theory and structure to the proof. Does this stuff actually work in, big, messy, real-world systems? Tell us about some of those case studies the sources mentioned, the ones showing anxiety to agency actually happening.
Okay, let's start with a really clear individual win. The education case in Mexico, there was a nursing student really struggling with basic anatomy, just couldn't get it.
Right.
Instead of just hitting the books harder, she used the platform. Poe built several complex 3D AR simulations of human body parts with her AI assistant.
Ah, hands-on.
Exactly. Result, her comprehension reportedly doubled. But more than that, she earned these outcome-based credentials tied to those specific simulations she built. And those credentials directly helped her land a paid internship at a local clinic.
Yeah.
She went from maybe failing academically to actually earning professionally really fast.
That's a powerful individual story, flipping failure into opportunity. But what about scaling up, like boosting efficiency in a huge company?
Right, so the enterprise case in Germany speaks to that. Big logistics team knew they had major inefficiencies the old way. They'd probably spend, say, $500,000 bringing in external consultants for 6 months.
The usual drill. Instead, they deployed this virtual campus framework internally. Their own employees used the AI co-pilots to generate and immediately test new, complex routing models. The result was pretty staggering. They cut delivery times by 22% in just the first quarter. 22%.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, saved the company millions annually.
That's huge. An immediate, measurable, bottom-line impact. But wait, if the employees become the innovators, what happens to the consultants? Or how did that change the team? Well, the sources emphasize this shift. Human capital moves from just executing tasks to actively innovating. So that internal logistics team, they were essentially reskilled on the fly. They became optimization engineers, constantly improving the system themselves rather than just operating it. The money saved was direct proof that empowering internal agency works.
Okay, makes sense.
And scaling even bigger. What about across a whole university system in India?
Yeah, this one really highlights the portfolio idea. When they integrated this outcome-driven framework, the main goal shifted. It wasn't about maximizing exam scores anymore. It was about maximizing the students' demonstrable portfolios.
So graduates left with more than just a transcript.
Exactly.
They left with actual collections of prototypes they'd built, functional solutions they'd co-created with AI, maybe even business proposals. And the payoff was apparently remarkable. 70% of those students landed jobs within 3 months of graduation. 70%, 3 months. Wow.
Yeah, because employers could see exactly what they could do right from day one. Their portfolios proved their competence immediately. That feels like the strongest validation yet of that skills jobs income flywheel. Okay, one more big challenge. The public sector. Like the government reskilling case in Africa. Tackling skills gaps for whole populations seems incredibly daunting. It absolutely is, and this case addresses that scale question head-on. A regional government used these virtual campuses specifically to reskill thousands of workers who'd been displaced. They focused on high-demand areas like renewable energy, modern construction tech. Within 6 months, they moved thousands of people from being economically inactive to earning these outcome-based credentials. It apparently filled a lot of local job vacancies and, interestingly, even helped launch dozens of small supporting micro-businesses.
So it worked even where maybe traditional education infrastructure was lacking.
Yeah, it showed that this model, this abundant intelligence approach, could be rapidly deployed for large-scale benefit.
These examples really connect the dots, don't they?
Yeah.
Solve problems, build skills, which lead to jobs, generating income. It feels like the practical side of turning that fear into actual momentum.
Absolutely. The whole movement seems designed to take the anxiety that comes with this insane pace of change and channel it into productive, measurable agency.
So wrapping this up, what does this mean for everyone listening, for organizations, for individuals? The source material apparently ends with a kind of global call to action, right? Aimed at 4 specific groups. Yeah, they issued a pretty direct set of instructions, you could say. For individuals, the message is basically, stop just consuming information passively. Solve a problem, any problem, even a small one today. And add that outcome to your portfolio. Start building that track record. Okay, build your proof. What about companies?
For enterprises, the call is to reorganize work. Start mandating these quick outcome sprints. Use your internal teams, empower them with AI to turn existing inefficiencies into immediate innovations. Don't wait for the consultants.
Right. Use the talent you have. And the public sector groups. For educators, the challenge is fundamental. Redefine learning itself. Shift the focus heavily onto doing, onto measurable output, not just time spent in class or absorbing theory. Make learning active. And finally, for governments, deploy these virtual campuses. Do it rapidly. Do it at scale. Use them to reskill your populations, empower people, and specifically target those critical workforce gaps everyone's talking about. Okay, so this deep dive really confirms it. Facing superintelligence feels like a genuine fork in the road. You choose one future or the other. And this solve everything movement is trying to provide the mindset and, crucially, the structure.
The mechanism.
The mechanism needed to actively choose agency, not paralysis.
It's really a commitment, isn't it, to stand on the shoulders of the incredible intelligence we're creating, rather than feeling crushed underneath its weight and speed.
Yeah. And that brings us perfectly to our final provocative thought for you, the listener. The source material is pretty clear. AI has effectively made intelligence an abundant infrastructure, like electricity, like the internet. It's just there, available. So if intelligence is now this abundant utility, the responsibility for making progress, for getting things done, it shifts entirely. So here's the question to ponder. If the raw intellectual power to solve almost any problem is now basically freely available to you, how does the responsibility for producing outcomes shift personally to you, and maybe more immediately? What's the very first problem, big or small, personal or global, that you would choose to solve today? That's a profound shift in perspective, and it definitely demands action. Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive. We'll see you next time.